Good day, my name is Bilal Parvez. When we talk about data analysis, in data analysis, the report making is also very important. In this video, we work on a file from online data sales from a store, and we try to get some insights out from that data. The data is big, over 100,000 rows and 9 columns. And we would not only get the insights out in terms of visualization by using pivot table, but we also going to make a report because getting the insights out is one thing, and making it in a presentable way in a report way is also a part of a data analyst. So I hope that would help you, especially in terms of the portfolio projects. Thank you very much. Let's go. So from this file, we have this data file, and this is a huge file. If I show you, let me show you the number of rows. So here you can see we have over 100,000 rows, and from this data of over 100,000 rows into 9 columns, we would have to make a report like this. A very nice report in which we are going to show all the important results and graphs, and we are going to represent all it very nicely. So here's the report. From that data, we are going to make this report. It is important to mention that as data analysts, we need to not only perform a very nice visualization, but we also need to make reports for management who are going to take important decisions. So from the data to this, we are going to do that. Let me take you step by step. This data which I showed you, you can download it from the description. I have already given you the link, and let's start. So first thing first, we are going to format it in a way so it would look nicer. Let me do it this. Okay, yeah, it looks better. Make it a bit more better. What we can do? Yes. So now it looks much better. For better readability, I would do it in the left also. Now, the first question which I am going to answer with this data is which are the top performing brands. And in order to get the top performing brands, we need to do So in order to get the top performing brands, what we need to do, we need to select it all. We'll go to insert, we go take a pivot table, and then we press OK. It will take it to another sheet in which we are going to draw the pivot table. So here is the pivot table. What I'm going to do is price is an important thing. In order to get the top performing brands, we would put it in the sum of values, and then brands into the row labels. So here you can see you have rows where you have brands, and then all the sales which they have got it as sum of price. One more thing is the event type. When you put it event type in the report filter, we have this, and we would need to consider just the purchases, because obviously you need to know that there are a lot of people who visit the websites, and they either just see it and left the page, or they put it into the cart and left the page. Those data are also very important, but for this particular video, I am much more interested in the insights of this sales, which means the purchases which have been made on the website. So on the filter, I just put purchase. So we have this purchase data, and then I'm going to insert a chart. Let me come it here, pivot table. From here, you can select it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the simple column chart. So here you can see, since we have a lots of brands and we need to make it look better and nicer, we are going to focus not all the brands but the top 10 brands. And for that, we need to do comment here, brands, value filters, top 10 by sum of price. Here you can see. Now the problem is that it looks nice, but we need to make it or sort it in a better way. Ascending order, A to Z, sum of price. Okay, well, let me change it. It's fine, more sort options, and let's do it in a descending order, sum of price. Okay, that looks much better now. Here we have. So it shows us Apple, Samsung are performing better than the rest of the brands. Here you can see even Apple is performing twice as better or more than twice as better as Samsung, and the rest of the brands are nowhere near to that. We need to do one more thing. We do not need these filters here. So I'm going to hide all field buttons on the card. I do not need that. And this I'm going to do. So I have just mentioned the brand sales revenue. I also don't need that because it's already understood. So one more thing which is very important as data analyst, that the graph should not be cluttered, and if the information is self-explanatory, we do not need to put a lot of legends and a lot of wordings or tables. Title says here brand sales revenue. So it's understood that on the x-axis, the category which are different text values are going to represent brands, and on the y-axis these are the numbers. Then obviously these are the values. One thing which we can do is more make it much better is that brand sales revenues in USD, because it's also important that which currency you are presenting. Maybe you are serving in a particular country where there's a particular currency, then it's fine. But if you are working for a client which is going to sell or which is selling in different countries, then it's also important that you represent it a particular currency, that in which currency you are showing it. So for example, if you have a client from Europe, this may be euros. Then we move one more thing. We again come here and then we insert then pivot table. Okay. And in this pivot table, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the frequency of the brands. So I'm going to, I want to know that how many brands. I know that Apple is giving high revenue, but the question is that if Apple is also the brand which is higher in terms of the number of sales, so let's check that thing out. For that, what we need to do is that we take brand as rows and then brand as values. And one more thing, what we need to do is again event type in the reporting filter. And again, we are going to focus on the purchase section. And then we are going to use this time bar chart. Let's do it. Yes, here we are. Again, we have a lot of brands, but we need to focus on top brands, top performing brands. For that, we can come it here. Value filter, top N. We're going to take top 10. And then again, we need to come up here. This time ascending, account of brand. That's fine. Here you can see in the last graph, we noticed that the Apple was the brand which was performing really well. But in terms of the number of sales or number of the events in which the sales occurred, Samsung is the highest brand. Again, we are going to do, we are going to delete the unnecessary part of the graph or information that is not required. Here we can mention it as you are getting this. So if I go back to the previous graph, here you can see Apple is the top performing brand in terms of sales revenue. After that, we have Samsung, and then there's the blank brands are where there's no particular brands. But obviously, this data is not relevant because if we compare it to the Samsung and Apple, they are clearly outperforming. So, but if we see in terms of the sales frequency, the number of units sold or the number of times a purchase has been made on the online store is on Samsung brand. One more thing which we can do is like we again go onto the main table and we use the pivot again. And now what we are going to do, we want to get the customers or the higher paying customers. So for that, what we can do is like um row labels. In the row labels, we put the user ID, price. We would take a sum of the prices, and even type. We are again going to use in the filter, and in that we are going to do the purchase section. And if we do that, let's make it here. We are going to take this time column again. Let's say this. Here you can see there are lots of customers, and I want to focus on the top ones. So again, we are going to have top n, and okay, here we are. And then again, we need to sort them out. So we need to sort them out with respect to the pricing in the descending order, sum of price. Here we go. We have such, this is a nice graph. Here you can see that this ID have spent a lot of money, and then you can see the next people. Why this is very important is because that sometimes the online store wants to offer some rewards and uh, uh, some rewards and some discounts or some promotional offers to specific people who are loyal to your store. So this kind of analysis is important. There's another way to do that, and that is to check it with respect to the frequency. And for that, what we can do is we can have, for example, mm, user ID again, but in terms of so another way to determine it is by frequency, that how many times the user has come and purchased it. So what we have done, we use the count of users ID, and we can sort it in a better way. User ID. So there is another way that, for example, this user has made 25 purchases, and for example, this user has made somewhere around 13 purchases. So what we can do is that we can differentiate it. Either there are certain people who have just come once to your store and make a one big purchase. So maybe that's only one purchase, and that contribute to him to the highest paying for the month. But there may be some other people who have made some smaller purchases, but they have done it in smaller chunks, and they have made it in multiple times. So for example, this customer has made 25 purchases. We need to check it furthermore that if this person is among the highest or not. But I can I'm just giving you the overview that when we are doing the data analysis, there are different aspect and perspective in order to check which person and which of the your uh, purchaser is doing better, or is giving you more money. Okay. Now, lastly, I want to perform one more thing, and that is I want to see the highest average categories, that which categories are on the highest average side. So first thing is the price, second thing is category, uh, category code, that we're going to put it here in the raw labels, and one is the even type, that can be all, but let's focus on purchase because we purchase on purchase at the end of the day. Good. And then if we put it for example, let's use bar this time. And if we use a bar, and again we try to have the top end because we have multiple brands, and here we need to change it to the average. And these are all the fields which I do not want. Now again what we can do is we can use more sorting filters, ascending order and average price. Yes, perfect. So here you can see the computer desktops are on the higher side in terms of average, but smartphones are on the third place. But if we come to here, uh, Apple giving the highest sales, then obviously there are some computers of the Apples are also being sold. And now when we have all these four graphs with us, what we can do, we can make a report. These I have this one, brand sales revenues in USD. Then I have brand sales frequency. I have top performing customers, or the customer who are loyal to us, who are making a lot of purchase from us. And at the last, we have average price categories. Let me explain you that each one of this is giving us a different information. So for example, if we talk about this one, this is the brand sales revenue in USD. This is telling that which brand is giving us a lot of money in terms of revenues. So for example, if we talk about the marketing and setting off your online pages, then maybe Apple and Samsung are the ones which should be on your main pages, because these are the ones which are giving you a lot of revenue. When we come to brand sales frequency, again, Samsung and Apple are the ones which people are buying a lot. This means that if we put it on the front of our online store, these are the things which would not only perform, but mostly customer come and directly buy from your store. They would not go from other stores because they can get very easily on the front pages. Then on the third we have users, which are the best users for us, who are paying us a lot. And this information is important because we need to reward them, we need to say thanks to them, and if we have the data, if we have the insights, then we can definitely you can give other name as well, but I have average categories. Why average categories is important? It's because of the business development strategy. When we have a lot of high average price inventory, we need to see that maybe if average price of certain inventory is very high and its sales volume is not that much high, we may need to have lower inventories so that we can use the amount of that inventory into the ones which have higher volumes in sales. So for example, here we can see that the computer desktops are the highest average values. And if I come here, Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, Sante, Acer, and so these are the one. Maybe Acer is the one which is giving you the desktop. But for example, the Samsung and the Acer one, Samsung and the Apple one, they are not mainly known for desktop. So what we can do is that from the desktop section, we can have a lower inventory and we can put the money here. At the end of the day, when we make these insights, then we have to present it in a report like this. Let me show you. So for example, you make this report, then you make the content, and then you tell us something about the data, and then you talk briefly about the insights, that what are the insights which you are getting from the data out, because that data is really big and nobody can go there and give you the answer. So for example, if I give you the data, if I give you this data, and if I ask you, tell me which is the top performing brands. So obviously, it's not going to be easy for you. So you need to tell that what are the insights you have got from the data, for example, brand revenues, and then you also need to tell why it's important in a very brief and nice fashion. Then you need to represent the each graph and further explain it in a brief way. Remember, remind you that these are the reports which just tells you the main points, because when the management see these reports, they don't have to go through the each and every details of that. So your graphs should not be cluttered, and your graph should not look like too much fancy to understand. I'm also sharing this report also with you, and you this report cannot be downloaded, but you have the idea. What I would like you to do is that make such a report after doing the analysis and share it on the LinkedIn. You can also tag me. My LinkedIn address is also on the description. Thanks a lot.